United Kingdom, the government has outlined plans to save jobs. Joining us live from the United Kingdom is Graham Thomas. Hello, Graham.
Good afternoon, good evening. Alma, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. So your updates for us, Graham?
Yeah, indeed, the UK government has unveiled a package worth some £30 billion or $37 billion to save jobs and help the young into work to kickstart the coronavirus-hit economy. Finance Minister Rishi Sunak's measures were announced on Wednesday as he delivered a mini-budget to Parliament. Let's listen in.
So today, we're introducing a new policy to reward and incentivize employers who successfully bring furloughed staff back. A new jobs retention bonus. If you're an employer and you bring someone back who was furloughed and you continuously employ them through to January, we will pay you a £1,000 bonus per employee. The Kickstart scheme will directly pay employers to create new jobs for any 16 to 24-year-old at risk of long-term unemployment. These will be new jobs, with the funding conditional on the firm proving these jobs are additional. These will be decent jobs, with a minimum of 25 hours per week paid at least the national minimum wage, and they will be good quality jobs, with employers providing Kickstarters with training and support to find a permanent job. I have decided today to cut stamp duty. Right now, there is no stamp duty on transactions below £125,000. Today, I am increasing the threshold to £500,000. This will be a temporary cut running until the 31st of March next year. Meals eaten at any participating business, Monday to Wednesday, will be 50% off up to a maximum discount of £10 per head for everyone, including children.
Finance Minister Rishi Sunak also expressed that although hardship lies ahead, no one will be left without hope. Other measures that we've seen include a temporary cut to the level of value-added tax on food, accommodation and attractions, and lifting the threshold at which stamp duty is due on home purchases, thus to help the construction sector. Britain has suffered Europe's deadliest outbreak of COVID-19, and a nationwide shutdown led to the worst economic contraction among the G7 leading industrial states. Sunak said the UK economy had contracted by 25% over the coronavirus lockdown, the same amount it grew in the previous 18 years. The Chancellor also confirmed £3 billion of green investment after British Prime Minister Boris Johnson vowed to build, build and build our way out of the economic crisis. The investment package includes £2 billion in grants for households to insulate homes and make them more energy efficient, and another £1 billion for public sector buildings, including hospitals. The plan is also part of Britain's long-term pledge to reduce carbon emissions to net zero by 2050 to tackle the climate change. Britain imposed a national lockdown on March 23 to halt the spread of COVID-19, but has gradually begun easing restrictions in the hope of boosting ailing businesses. Recent official data showed that the UK's biggest quarterly contraction for more than 40 years at minus 2.2% in the period January to March this year. However, the data also only included the first full week of the lockdown, and economists expect subsequent damage to be considerably worse for the second quarter. Another contraction would technically place Britain into a recession. So since the crisis began, the Bank of England has pumped cash stimulus worth £300 billion into Britain's virus-hit economy and slashed its main interest rate to a record low of 0.1%, moves all aimed at propping up businesses and saving jobs. Experts estimate the total cost of state emergency measures, meanwhile, could run as high as £300 billion. Back to you, Alma.
Graham, what will these measures mean for the ordinary person or man on the street?
Alma, the Chancellor made a host of changes to the economy in a bid to stave off a post-coronavirus decline, and was aimed at breathing life into an economy battered by job losses in recent days and weeks. So for anyone who has been on furlough, if the company keeps you on board in a job paying at least £525 a month, then the government will give a furlough grant in January of £1,000 to try and make sure that people on furlough are coming off it and staying in jobs. This is to incentivize employers to do so, which will be of some comfort to those who feel insecure in their jobs at the moment, as employers may see this a way of keeping employees on the payroll. However, only this lunchtime, we heard of 4,000 jobs going at one of our largest pharmaceutical companies, Boots, which equates to around 7% of their workforce here in the UK. We also heard that in England and Northern Ireland, stamp duty will not be paid until the end of March 2021 on homes worth up to £500,000 or 630,000 US dollars. And this is a huge change, as previously you started paying stamp duty at just £125,000 or 158,000 US dollars, unless you were a first-time buyer. So to put this in context, for someone buying a £500,000 house, that's £15,000 or 19,000 US dollars less that you would have to pay. Another great incentive for the general public was his announcement that if you go to a restaurant between Monday and Wednesday in August, then up to £10 per person will be supplied by the government against the bill. This will be a great incentive to the general public to soak up the hospitality industry, which has been one of the hardest hit from the lockdown. Back to you, Alma.
All right, thank you very much. Just an added touch to your report there, Chancellor Sunak also announced a novel plan for an eat out to help out discount of 50% on meals in cafes and restaurants for this August. Just an added info for you. Anyways, thank you so much, Graham, for your time, and you do take care. And we look forward to hearing more news from the United Kingdom. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm Graham Thomas reporting for EBC in the United Kingdom, and we live in interesting times.